Hi everyone, today's video is going to be my end of October updates. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my Bulbophyllum sulawesi. So at one point I stopped seeing those little black bugs, so I put it back, but then a few days later I did end up seeing them again, so I'm isolating this plant again. I haven't seen any since I've removed the last ones I've seen, but just to be safe I'm just going to keep it isolated. This is Cloecia russelliana crossed with tigrinum, and it's finally in dormancy. I don't remember if this was before the last update, but there's one leaf where I cut off because there was some sticky stuff. So it did have some more bugs on it. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to peel off all the dried sheaths and kind of just soak the plant without the pot. I'll unpot it first, just to try to drown anything that might be still alive there. And this is the offset that I had before, and the reason why it's here is because I found one black bug on it, so I want to keep it isolated. I have one plant, which I'll show later, that had a really bad infestation and I didn't notice, so we'll see. And this one is tigrinum crossed with kleberianum, and for a while I didn't see any issues, but just to be safe I've kept it isolated. And then I noticed today there's some sticky stuff on the back of this leaf, so it obviously still has a problem. I'm just going to cut off this leaf because it should be entering dormancy this season anyway, so hard to tell where these guys are coming from. And these are my seedlings. Everyone is looking pretty good, and the guy on the kulog is still doing fine. This one is Dendrobium Scabrilingue, and it's pushing out 2 growths, and the growths are starting to push out roots now, so that's good. And this is Thrixspermum leucarachne, and still doing fine on the kulog. I don't think it's attached roots on it yet though. And this one is my Vanda tricolor seedling. So I did find one bug on it, the same black bug that I've been having issues with. So I removed it and I decided to unpot it, just get rid of all the media and keep it bare roots. And this is Dendrobium christyanum. This one I also found a black bug on it, but I removed it and I haven't seen any issues since, so I think this one is fine. And this is my SLC World Vacation Shibuya Sunset, and it has a sheath on this growth. I think there's potentially something inside, but it's really hard to tell. Fingers crossed. I think last time I had a sheath like this, it never grew bigger and it just shriveled up, so really hoping for something here. And Masdevallia amplexa is in bloom, so yay! This one also had that problem with the bugs. So my strategy with dealing with the bugs is just drowning them. So this one I soaked, I think for like an hour or so, and I would clean out the water when I saw living things floating to the surface or at the bottom. If you soak your plants, sometimes you'll see little transparent larvae at the bottom, and those are fungus gnat larvae, so in a way it helps kind of deal with that as well. But so far I haven't seen any further issues. I had one leaf that was yellow and kind of brown, but not like a rotting brown, like on the surface, and I removed it. I'm not sure what caused it. I think maybe a magnesium deficiency if the leaf was yellow, but if it was caused by those bugs, then I'm hoping the next new leaf that comes out will be at least a little bit better. And this is Galeandra baueri, and this growth is looking pretty okay. Just noticed there's a little black spot there, a little sticky spot that tells me something suspicious is going to happen, but I'll examine this a bit later today when I water my plants. And I lost one of the canes, but it's decided to produce a new growth higher up on the cane here, and it seems to be doing fine. This is my Dendrobium Sherry Abe, and it has a new growth, and it's also pushing out a flower spike, but not one, but 2 flower spikes. So this will be a first time bloom for me, so this is super exciting. And this is my Epidendrum ciliare, and it's also coming in bloom for the first time for me, so that's great. And this is my Trichoglottis pusilla, and I decided to add this chopstick just to help train it grow up. It was a little bit curved because when it was on the other mount, it was leaning forward, so the curve was caused by it trying to grow straight up, but now it's not like that. I have to train it the other way now. So this one is Restrepia guttalata, and it's currently isolated because it had that infestation issue. I did clear it up by multiple soakings. I tried to drown the bugs, so I kept soaking this one, and it seems like it's clear, but it's a very densely leaved plant, I guess you could say, which makes it very difficult to see if they're there or not. And this one is Stelis micrantha clouds minimi, and I think this one is the culprit that's causing issues on that shelf. I don't know where the bugs came from because it didn't have it before, but this one had the most insects I've seen on it. So the insects are very hard to see because it's very densely leaved, and I didn't want to drown it because I have some mites in here, and I think they're the predatory mites that I purchased before, so I don't want to kill those off. So far what I've been doing is if I see them, I just pick them off, and I've also kept this isolated. Considering it has a problem, it looks pretty healthy, so I think that's a good thing, but I can't keep it with the other plants for now. So our Orchid Society did a group order with tension orchids, so I got a couple. This one is Bulbophyllum sanguineopunctatum. I got it mostly because to replace my Bulbophyllum harbotinum, and it's very compact, like the pseudobulbs are very close together. It does not have a very extensive root system right now, obviously, so I have this stir stick just to help keep it up while it produces roots. And this one is Dendrobium chapaense, and this one was to replace the Dendrobium longicornu. So I bought one plant, but what happened was when I unpacked everything, it kind of just fell apart into several pieces. So I've put most of them in that one pot, and then the remaining small pieces in this small container. So I have it on this heat mat. I'm hoping it'll help with the pushing out new roots. So this is my Stanhopeia nigro-violacea Batman, and I brought it inside since the weather was starting to get very cold. I haven't seen any spikes on it yet. It does have an issue with pill bugs. I think there's a few in there, so I'll need to deal with that. Alright, so we're at the top shelf. Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana on the kulog is doing fine. I did end up tying it a bit tighter on the kulog because it wasn't tight enough because it wasn't quite flush against the log itself. So that's resolved. And this is Coryanthes missaceae. So this pseudobulb suddenly plumped up, which is good, and it has a new growth starting at the bottom there. And this is Coryanthes leucarachne, and it's doing pretty well. The new growths are growing well, and it's even pushing out some roots now, so that's good. And this is Dendrobium formosa. I had it isolated because it also had a pest issue, but it seems to be fine now, so I put it back. This is Palantenthera tenoglossum, and it's doing fine on the kulog. Hasn't pushed out any new roots yet. I think the light is potentially too bright for it. You can see it's starting to purple there, but otherwise it's been doing pretty okay. And this is Path Emersonii, and it's pushing out a new leaf. And this is Polycycnus barbata, and it's pushing out that new growth very well, so that's great. So this is a bit of a disappointment. This is supposed to be Chysis levis, but it's not the right color. It's either an alba form or it's actually bractescens. So it's pretty disappointing. I spent a lot of time trying to make this guy bloom, especially when I screwed up in the beginning when I first got it. So I'm not too happy with this. Yeah, so this is the second Chysis that I ordered where it's not what I expected it to be, so I'm not too happy with that. And I'm getting kind of annoyed about having plants where it's not what I ordered. So this is Dendrobium exucite, and it's pushing out this growth, so that's good. And this is Paphinia rugosa, and it's pushing out this flower spike. So this is my Vanda Jenny. I did end up moving it here only because I got the other plants that are in a little bit worse shape. And what I did was I taped these stir sticks to the glass, tie the leaves up just so they're not flopping over. And this is my No ID Fowl, and it's in spike. And last but not least, this is Dendrobium Sherry my old one, and it's pushing out a bud there. And there's also, I just noticed today, there's a bud at the bottom there as well, so I'm gonna get 2 flowers on this. Alrighty, so that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!